I'm Dina Gardner, and I'm a pastel painter here in Boston as well on the West Coast in California. I'm a headhunter.
Okay.
So I've been a headhunter for 35 years, and a couple of years ago I owned some companies, and a few years ago I kind of took a step back, retired, still own the company, but I have been painting for the last many years, 4 years now I think it's been. Yeah, I would say as a headhunter, it's not a real creative process. And so I had been looking for ways to get this creativity that I knew was inside of me. I've been looking for ways to get that out. And it started probably in my mid 40s where I started kind of feeling this urge. And I took a couple of pottery classes, which were interesting, but I couldn't say I was passionate about them. And then I decided I was going to start a rock and roll band. And of course did not play an instrument, so there's that. So I taught myself guitar and started a band and did that for about a year, and we played quite a bit. We played around here, Metro West, and it was a classic rock band. It was wonderful. And then when that ended, I kind of fluttered around for maybe 10 years, just trying things here and there, trying to figure out, where this creative energy was going to go. And about 4 years ago, I found Pastels, and I just haven't looked back. The luminescence of the pastel, that quality is just amazing. I actually bought a couple of pastels from an artist that I absolutely adore. She now paints in oils, and I bought those pastels probably 20 years ago. Quite frankly, I didn't realize they were pastels until about 4 years ago when I really took a look at them and said, oh my God, these paintings I love. It's this pastel quality. So they're very forgiving. If you make a mistake, you can take your stick and you can paint over it. You can wipe it off. You can wash it off with water. I find that they're amazing in so many ways, and they're already packaged. Unlike oils, you have to mix to find your color. With pastels, there's sticks, and they've already got the color in them, and you learn how to layer and figure out how to achieve what you're looking for. So I have been really trying to grow this year, but I focus mainly on water. So that's waves, that's rocks with waves crashing over them. Certainly landscapes, and that can include marshes and meadows. Marshes often have water in them. So it's really kind of a landscape, meadow, water scape, I would say. That would be really what I focus on, but I have been working on people. I've been spending the last month just working solely on rocks and trying to find the planes and the light areas, the dark, the midtones, and I'm really enjoying it. It's been great. What it really does for me is it allows me to take all that noise that is happening in the world, and I can just shut it off. I play music while I paint, so there's some dance parties that happen at the easel, and it really allows me to focus. And all the negativity that's going on in the world just goes away, and I'm very focused on what's on that easel. So it's changed me in that manner for sure. And I think it's given me just a real broad appreciation of all types of art. So for example, ceramics, which I'm not drawn to. I don't go to a retail store and want to buy ceramics, but I really appreciate ceramics. And I actually do own some, but I now have a different appreciation, I think, for so many artists and for what they go through in their journey. And it's been such a learning experience for me. Because as an artist, it's a very solitary journey. You are by yourself most often at your easel. So I haven't had a huge change there, but all the other responsibilities that I have, they've kind of been put to the side because people are home and you're just kind of focused on your own little thing. The other thing I will tell you, I kind of had an aha moment during COVID. I have my work in a gallery up in Maine, and they called very recently. I had just had hand surgery, and they called and said, would you be interested in a solo show? And I said, gosh, I only think I have, maybe 15 pieces that are framed. And then I started thinking about it, and I had about 100 pieces, Paul, that were in this box. I wasn't ready to throw them out. I wasn't ready to wash them off. I liked them, but there was something wrong with all of them, and I wasn't sure what it was. But during COVID, I was able to look at these pieces, and because it's been a 4-year journey, I'm now at that point where I could look at them and say, not only I know what's wrong with this painting, I know how to fix it. And so 2 weeks after surgery, I'm still in a cast, and I fixed, I want to say 50 of those paintings and got them to that next level. And now they're in this show up in Maine, and I heard that one just sold yesterday. So that's been my great, I guess, COVID aha experience. So my focus right now is working with galleries, and I recently got into what's called COSO, Copley Society of Art, and this is a gallery on Newberry Street, and I've just admired this gallery for 20 some odd years, maybe 30 years, and I finally got in, and that was a big moment for me. And then I've been working with this gallery in Maine and having a lot of success. I've had 3 shows there, and I think the first show, which was a year ago, I sold, I want to say 27 pieces, 25 pieces, a lot. So that was just very encouraging. So what I'll do now, because I am bi-coastal, I spend the winters in California, I will spend some time in this winter, provided I'm able to, talking with some gallery reps there and trying to move it forward from that angle. I like to sell the work because I donate a large portion of the proceeds to a foundation that I started, which is called the Pay It Forward Backpack Project. And what we do here is we're completely grassroots, volunteer-based, and we hand out backpacks every fall to the homeless, and the backpacks are filled with all the winter essentials you can imagine. So it's, scarves and mittens and hats, and I've got a group over at Converse that's been helping me recently provide the backpacks and some of the hats and the socks and things like that. And we literally go out on the streets and hand those out. So by selling the work, I can continue to buy the backpacks and buy whatever I need. And again, my volunteers also, they do this as well to help me out. So it's been very rewarding.